out straight away. Vayne's one of those champions that have actually started to come back into this one lately. We've seen, obviously, Double have been playing it a lot. It kind of came back in at the end of the Season 2 finals, didn't it? I think it was Taipei Assassins ran it a few times. And who else ran it? It was COG.
A lot of teams, because just think about this. What counters Vayne is a really strong laning phase. Strong's laning phase were actually nerfed not so long ago.
Right.
So Vayne gets stronger, and as she gets stronger,
yeah.
You know, those AD carries that rely so much on not losing the lane get so much stronger. So we see the bans right here.
Oh, the bans really, really quickly there.
Yep.
Rengar and Ezreal, I'm going to say, are just general bans. I'm not sure if Vayne was targeted. On the other side, Lee Sin and Blitzcrank and Shen, these are all sound like standard bans. Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants Blitzcrank because he just if he lands that grab, it's an instant 4v5.
He's a game changer. And this is my point of view. Malphite and him are the best game changers.
Right. And Malphite is open. Diana's the first pick here for Absolute Legends. Obviously going to go to their mid lane.
Nunu Caitlyn, maybe?
Yes. I'm pretty sure like Diana is probably one of the best first picks of the whole game right now. I will definitely first pick Diana if it's open, because she doesn't have many corners. If no corners, maybe a 2v1 situation in mid lane, or maybe an AD carry.
Oh, and there's the Malphite.
And there's the Malphite. Okay, that's a really strong setup. There's a go-in setup. That means they're gonna in team fights they're gonna go in. They want really fast team fights, maybe 10-15 seconds maximum. If the team fight lasts more than that, one Sona, that's crazy, man.
Follow it up with the crescendo. That's just going to absolutely blitz the team. So that's all about the 5v5 late game. So the question is, how will they hang out in the lane phase? Because they're obviously going for the team fights. That's what their goal is.
So we don't know if Malphite is jungle or top. I suppose he's going to be top. In that case, you don't have a really strong 1v1 until he reaches level 6, but let's say you don't have a really strong 1v1, it's a really easy target to be ganked. So if they focus on top lane on Malphite, he might really get so much behind, and that is a huge problem. That is the main problem of Malphite. And with Diana mid, well, Diana mid is, as I said, is a little bit over the top. I don't think ganking Diana mid is a bad idea, but on the other hand, she has a lot of abilities to like leave, which is the W, the E. Too much.
The Jayce actually going to Kuala Lumpur Hunters here, and Seekant has been playing a lot of Jayce, so he probably wouldn't have minded if Malphite was going to the jungle. We don't know yet. One question though is, how do you stop Diana from roaming? How do you stop her from leaving mid lane constantly and roaming around the map? Is there anything you can do?
Either way, you get another assassin, and you simply play better, or you get a hero that can do Wraith and get a better mid late game. So in any case, she will outroam you. That's how it's supposed to be. But you can have a good damage control if you got, for instance, Orianna mid lane. 1v1 Orianna loses against Diana, but on the other hand, she has a way better mid game, late game, and you get into mid late easier because you do the Wraith and stuff.
I see. Okay.
On the other hand, I really like the Maokai pick. Is a natural pick. When the opponent picks Malphite, it's a natural pick. You need Maokai, basically. So if you ban Maokai, and the opponent picks Malphite, you don't have anything to counter that.
How do you counter Maokai with Malphite? What do you do?
Well, Maokai ultimate is actually a really strong thing against that. So as we can see, AL team, Absolute Legends is going an all-in combo, that's for sure. And they won, as I said, 10 seconds, 15 seconds teamfight. If the teamfights last more than that, that is a bad thing for them.
Well, I mean, you've got a full dive comp there. You've got Diana, Nocturne, all going to go straight into someone. Malphite to follow it up, Crescendo to follow it up. Corki's just going to armor shred everyone. That is a full 5v5 blitz. They want to target them. So I guess from Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they want to try and stay as split as possible.
I think the best pick right now for Kuala Lumpur Hunters is going to be probably Katarina. I know it sounds another melee and stuff. To be honest, I would really like Katarina right here.
Why is that?
Because if they go in, Katarina is gonna be free on the carries.
Right. Okay.
With Jayce, straight pass.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. That might work. Or, as you said, somebody who could push the mid lane. Well,
not sure about Rise.
Rise.
Not sure about that pick.
Is that a mid lane that wants to win against Diana, possibly?
Okay.
Oh, Lux.
That is
nice.
In my opinion, that is a really risky pick, because if they get really risky, because if they get engaged, they are gonna sweat.
Because Lux has got no escape from that.
Nothing.
It's just, you get caught, you're going to pop so quick because lack of hit points to start with, and there's so much that could dive on you there.
Lux probably one of my best one of my most played champions, and one champion I don't want to play against at all is Diana and Malphite. Those two.
Jug, looking at those two team comps, who do you favouring here?
I would say aL.
I'm probably gonna have to say aL as well. I don't know. I want to see the Lux do nice things, because Lux is just one of those champions that makes you go crazy just watching her, and she can get to the back line even with tanky stuff before that. But I have to say aL, just there's an obvious synergy that feels very, very strong.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get over to the all two commentators. It is going to be Joe Miller and Jason. But I love you, Captain.
The best introduction that you've ever had, Jason, to an event. Demon's very nice way of introducing you. Let's call it that.
You said it very,
let's not
very
go too
feminine.
far. But obviously, we are going to be getting into the game today. And Jason, first of all, how's Singapore treating you so far?
Actually, amazing. The first day we got here, you took a tour out. What is it called, Joe? I can't
Marina
remember.
Bay.
Yes, and actually really beautiful. I was really surprised. It's very clean, which is actually really makes me really happy, to be honest, because from America it's kind of really dirty. Not to bag on my own country, but it is. But it looks like actually you are going into game, Joe.
Yeah, no, you've time for my impressions of Singapore. Actually, we've got a pause in there, so we do now have time. So I've actually been to Singapore before.
Right.
I guess before WCG, the last big event before that was actually just a couple of weeks before, and that was CPL World Tour 2005. That was my first time here in Singapore, and the place has only got more awesome. In fact, I almost want to say we are here in Singapore-some.
You saved that, didn't you? From
I
earlier.
saved that. I did prepare that one. I did prepare that
man.
one, guys, so sorry for that. But it looks like we are getting underway here. The pause is now gone, and we are going to be kicking off our first game of the day, first game of Group A, and, of course, the first game of the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. So let's drop us straight in there and figure out exactly what's going to happen from these early stages. First of all, I'll give you a quick rundown once again of these two teams. For Absolute Legends, we have Robert Lee on Corki, Shlushi on Diana, Spellsy on Sona, Yoda on Nocturne, and Ziken on Malphite. And over on the other side for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, we have Golden on Lux, Jae-Young on Caitlyn, Hagane on Nunu, Don Murray on Maokai, and Monkeys on Jayce.
And a little bit interesting play out of KLH. They actually used Acceleration Gate. Jayce picked it up as his first skill, and I was actually expecting them to go for an invade, because that speed buff, you can get to that bottom tri-bush before the enemy team does, but instead they're actually just spreading out, just protecting their own jungle. This is the first game of the day for them. They have, I believe, 2 more to play after this, so no need to really try something tricky or try something that can make you lose early on, especially since, you know, Absolute Legends has that late game team. They want that team fighting to happen, and KH has to be really careful of that.
Yeah, and also the first game of the day for me with a new mouse and mouse pad. So you can expect a couple of little camera flings around here and there, but hopefully that will all be sorted out as we get through the day and I get used to the new setup here. So minions have spawned in, and not looking like we're going to be seeing too much early action. Obviously, this ward was put down by Absolute Legends just to give them vision of that raid side on the top side of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters jungle. And a start here on the raids for Yoda's Nocturne.
Yeah, the big thing here is to see if actually both junglers use that Spider Knot. If you obviously don't see it used, you're going to see... Oh, no, in the bot lane, Joe. Might see some action.
Yeah, in the bot lane here, Spellsy actually going very, very low, was forced to use the flash, but now they may be able to turn this one around. Robert Lee taking a lot of hits, and that's one of the great things about Caitlyn, you know, the passive headshot, every 7th shot there going to give you, or every 8th shot, I should say, going to give you that extra damage, which in a 2v2 or a 1v1 situation can mean the extra thing that gets you a kill or not, as the case was there.
Yeah, not to mention having that Nunu with that Blood Boil, it just makes your passive comes up even quicker. The extra damage you get onto champions is just insane for Caitlyn. Not to mention she completely outranges Corki. But when Corki obviously does get 6, he should be able to keep up with that Rockets to at least harass a little bit. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see actually Jae-Young actually get completely far ahead in CS pretty early. As you see right now, I mean, Robert X Lee getting pretty low, having to pop those health pots. It does have Spellsy there, who hasn't taken heal yet, obviously, since he is level 1. But we'll be picking that up very shortly.
So what do you think, where we're going to see most of the action here? I mean, this middle lane, they talked about it earlier on that for Lux, it's not the easiest matchup against this Diana. She's very quick, very mobile, in your face pretty much the entire time. Is this where we're going to be expecting a lot of pressure early on from Absolute Legends?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if Lux misses that combo, that snare, Diana's going to just train through him and just blow him up instantly. But then it's the same for Golden. If he lands his full combo on Diana, if Diana actually doesn't go for any kind of magic resist, maybe a Chalice, then he can blow him up as well. So it's pretty much just whichever gets that early advantage. I just see Maokai coming in for a gank here. Jungler is going to be very key. And as in the meantime, Nocturne actually going for his own blue buff. A little bit slower than Maokai at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit slow. Maokai already had those double buffs on. They did both use their smite, by the way, on the first buff. So just to keep that one in mind there. And as you see, Nocturne has just finished that blue buff, so we'll see with Jayce pushed up fairly aggressively on this top lane whether he goes in there for the gank. Obviously he already does have a point in his Q to give him that, in his E to have that acceleration gate up. And that may just be the difference in there. Obviously, Jayce does have Flash Ignite as well, but Nocturne is creeping in around the back. They're obviously going to be able to get that slow with the red buff, and they're going to close in now on towards Monkey's. Flash is used, and there is the teleport already from Lux into this top lane. Not sure that that was really needed, to be honest. We saw how much HP Monkey's actually lost, which, well, it just wasn't a lot at all. With the Flash, with that acceleration gate there, I think he would have been safe without that early teleport coming in from Lux, which we talk about this so often, Jason, that, you know, especially for a mid laner, I'd say, where you probably need that extra damage against someone like Diana. If you don't utilize that teleport properly, it's a summoner spell that, well, could save you from kills or get you kills in the long run.
Yeah, it's very true, and unfortunately right there we saw it not work out in his favor, but Yoda actually on that gank didn't really have a Shroud of Darkness, which would have completely mitigated that slow off Monkeys, which he's coming right back into this top lane again. Obviously not going to have Lux up there, but he still has that red buff. If they can land just one slow onto Monkeys, he's going to have a really hard time here. But he does not have Flash anymore, so they do have him going in.
Oh, he's gone in aggressively there, Monkeys, as he puts the Ignite down on towards Nocturne, but you can see how fast he's falling here from this one, and there is first blood for Absolute Legends, taking down Jayce in this top lane. Monkey's falling, and that is the start that the American side were looking for in this game. We didn't really talk about our favorites in this one, Jason, but to be quite honest with you, as they mentioned over in the, I don't like to call it the analysis desk, I like to call it the cool kids desk.
Thanks.
You know, I think we're not quite as cool. Sadly, we don't have that Spanish accent. But you know, they rightly pointed out that this combo for Absolute Legends, when they're grouped up, when he gets that team fight stage, if it goes right for Absolute Legends, it's going to be a bit of a whitewash.
Yeah, but you can't count Kuala Lumpur Hunters out. I mean, they gave, I believe it was a Zubu Blaze, a run for their money. I believe they actually went 2-1 against them. I would say they lost, but still, going head-to-head against one of the best teams in the world, you can't really count them out as, I mean, they could get an early enough advantage. Caitlyn obviously be pretty weak late game. She does pretty good damage. If they can get a hard engage onto her, she's pretty, we're going to have a hard time to get out of there. She's probably going to die. But they are pushing this bot lane very heavily with this Blood Boil. They actually got that tower down to half health, and it's not really looking good for Absolute Legends on that bot lane. But then again, a Nunu Caitlyn roaming isn't too deadly, but Yoda sitting down there in the bottom lane does get spotted by that ward. And we do have his Razor already done. We do have a GP10 already completed in that top lane for Zeke, which we won't see around too much longer when Season 3 comes. But Monkey's having a hard time with that early camp out of Nocturne. He came up there for 2 ganks, and now he's just not really having too much fun up there. As you're seeing, Zeke is just bossing him around with this extra health he has, the armor he has, and he's also pretty much full defensive masteries.
Meanwhile, Maokai is in this bottom lane, and one thing that we really have to watch out for, we can see that Malphite does have that teleport on there, not used up until now, and that's where it could get a little bit dangerous in this bottom lane. If they get a nice ward in there, Malphite comes down, especially when he hits 6, which he just has actually done. That's when it can be a real terror in this bottom lane. They think they're safe. Teleport comes in there behind them, Unstoppable Force comes down, and you know, with a burst power that Corki has, you don't have much of a chance to get away from that.
Yeah, it's very true. I've actually been watching Don Murray right now. He's actually getting caught. I'm just going to walk away. I was paying attention to him. He does have boost mobility, didn't go for early GP10, and he's pretty much just like an Alistar jungle, even though you don't see him too much anymore. If he gets those early ganks off, he's going to really snowball. Not to mention the AoE damage reduction from his ultimate. He really needs to get some, sort of early ganks off, some early pressure, but he's been shut down pretty much in every lane at the moment. He snuck in bot lane, through the lane, didn't really get anything since Absolute Legends actually backed out. Tried going for mid lane again, but was spotted by a ward. And top lane, I mean, it's a Malphite who's 6. You can't stop him. He's going to get away as long as he has the ultimate up.
Yeah, he's not going to be easy to stop. Well, they call it Unstoppable Force for a reason, let's say that.
I see
so if we look at the CS, actually, this bottom lane is already a big difference, 20 CS, and there's a ward. Look at this ward. This could be the crucial thing. It's a pink ward, which means they can clear out any wards, which would stop them having that vision of the Malphite should he comes down.
Oh, top lane, Joe.
And top lane.
Sushi coming in for a gank here. No ward going to spot him. Actually, he's going to... Oh, is he not going to see him? Actually, no, he did with that ward finally, but they do have Unstoppable Force up.
Yeah, there is Unstoppable Force coming in. Oh, wow, I just pressed the wrong button. That was pretty awesome stuff.
Well, a little bit of a misplay, actually, on Slushy. He popped his Moonfall when he was nowhere near Jayce, but obviously they did pick up the kill, so obviously 2-0 now for Absolute Legends. Have a great start. They're up about 1,000 gold right now, and that is the kind of start you want to have. I mean, when you're especially oriented around those team fights, any lead you get early on is going to pay its dividends throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, and apologies for that one, guys. Instead of hitting tab to drop the scoreboard, I pressed Q, which took us nicely to look at looks in the middle.
It's the first game of the day, Joe.
It's the first game of the day. I'm sure people can, you know, let me off with that one. I'm going to shave my hair off when I get 20,000 followers. Here we go. Spellsy could be in a little bit of trouble as we are going to see that push coming in, but Robert Lee doing good damage here onto Caitlyn. Was exhausted, was ignited
Teleport
as well, but
down.
here comes the teleport. Obviously, he doesn't have unstoppable force available, which, you know, for me, number one, it came too late without an unstoppable force. I'd question whether it was really worth it without that unstoppable force as well.
And not to mention, we actually saw Ward go down out of Hagenay in that bot lane, that pick Ward to take it out, because he actually knew something was going to happen there. Very smart play out of him. Very good game awareness, as we do have Nocturne going for a gank on this mid lane. Will be spotted by Ward, but pops the ultimate.
Yeah, there is the ultimate coming in. There is Malphite coming around as well. The shard will go down, but, well, he's got no mana there, Nocturne. They decide not to really follow up on that one, and they will push back into lane. So let's have a look at the CS again. We were trying to get in there earlier before everything kicked off. Top lane, Malphite slightly ahead, albeit very slightly. Bottom lane, though, this round about 20 CS difference is really persisting down there. I mean, you can kind of expect it with the Caitlyn having that extra range. She's got great harass with that extra range, plus the headshot in there as well, with Blood Boil on as well. It's a hard lane for Robert Lee, but as long as he stays close, as long as they get these ganks that they need and get the kills in there, I think this lane should be pretty safe for them.
Yeah, I mean, you expect him to lose this lane against Caitlyn, like you were saying, and not to mention, he is way stronger than Caitlyn in a team fight. I mean, he has the rockets to harass. Caitlyn has, you know, her Q, her Piltover Peacemaker, but it obviously won't do too much damage. But
Yoda's in trouble now, actually getting caught out here at the race. If this snare does land, which it does, they could be in trouble. There's the laser as well. Yoda, is he going to be able to get away? In the meantime, I'm going to watch Golden because he's been pressured down. They do take out Yoda. Will Shlushi try and push in for more here? And they decide, no, let's not go for it. Malphite was there. Unstoppable Force was off its cooldown again. Well, that will be a kill-for-kill exchange. But, you know, it's the jungler that's gone down, Jason, compared to Lux in the middle lane. So I'd say Absolute Legends are probably going to be happy with how that's gone.
Yeah, definitely getting that kill onto Diana. Definitely going to help out. And we do have Maokai actually has an Oracle on himself, so... Let's let you go do that one.
Jayce not messing around here in middle, but you can see there the burst damage that Diana can put out. Actually, he's forced to use a flash, but there's the unstoppable force. What a bait from Shlushi. Was not expecting that one whatsoever, Monkeys. And as soon as Malphite comes in, he's like, I'm probably dead from that one, which is exactly how it went down. 4-1 in kills, 3,000 almost gold lead right now. It's looking very good for the Americans.
Yeah, that surprise ulti was actually pretty hilarious. But in the top lane, they took down that tower very early, allowing Zekin to do this. He's been roaming around the entire map. When his ultimate's up, it's pretty much almost a guaranteed kill, as long as the opponent doesn't have flash. But even then, I mean, with Diana Moonfall, you're going to pull him back in. In that bot lane, you have Corki, Chase, Sona, Crescendo. It's really putting a lot of pressure onto KLH, and they have to make something happen here. I mean, they're losing their early game, which is a really huge factor in this, and it's only going to get worse as the game progresses. But we do have an Oracle over on Maokai right now, and Nocturne picked one up himself, so this actually be very very beneficial for either team to pick up the jungle. I was expecting Zekin to flash ulti Maokai there when we saw that fight in the middle, but didn't happen. And the bottom tower going down, so we're even in towers, Joe. But still, Absolute Legends has a huge gold lead at this point.
Yep, all even in towers, but as you said, it's almost a 2,000 gold lead currently for Absolute Legends. No Dragon being taken yet, almost 12 minutes into the game, but as you can see, Absolute Legends moving up towards that. They've got Nocturne there, they've got Malphite there, and well, just as I talk about Dragon, looks like I was right on time because Absolute Legends are going to be starting that off. Will Kuala Lumpur Hunters be able to do anything about this one? I'm not sure. You can see how quickly it's going down there, especially with that Wriggles on the Nocturne as well.
And we're seeing Diana. We should talk about items a little bit because Diana going for that Haunting Guys, going for the Cage's Lucky Pick, which I never see anymore on AP carry since you can't build that, or you can build a DFG, but it's really heavily nerfed. No real point to take it, but does give that early GP10. And obviously, we'll be trying to go for an Abyssal right after that for that that really hard penetration, that 69 flat penetration, which really destroys teams, especially when you're the only AP carry currently for your roster. But obviously, Corki does do some AP damage, so he's going to be... Oh, no, it's not looking good, Joe.
This could be very, very dangerous. Let's have a look. The Unstoppable Force not quite up and ready just yet. And well,
they have to leave that tower.
Yeah, he comes out. They can't stay there with the bottom lane there, with Nocturne there, with Malphite there. Maokai is coming around to try and change this one in. But I think that Lux needs to be there as well, if they even think about it. There's Yoda taking down the vision in that blue bush. the sapling will just give them temporary vision of that one. But as you can see, bottom lane, as you'd expect as well, taking down this bottom turret as fast as they can. Now Diana's coming in as well. This is bad news overall. As here we go, ulti coming in there. Crescendo actually missed. Will Caitlyn actually get away from this one? Jaeyoung is under a lot of pressure. Diana very, very sticky, hard to get away from. And there is a kill for Diana, a kill for Corki. And that will put them 6-1 in the lead. And there was, I guess, a lot of talk about Absolute Legends. Will they be the team for America here, Jason? I mean, you probably have more of a feeling about that one than me. You know, there's obviously a lot of national pride. Always there is in tournaments like this. They're the only American side here. And so far, they're showing us that they definitely deserve to be here at Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, doing a fantastic job of dispatching of Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
The
there
tongue
we
twister
go.
a little
It
bit.
doesn't get off my tongue so easily.
Yeah, they played really well in the qualifiers. They had teams, you know, like I believe Curse was in there, CLGNA was in there, and they're definitely showing why they should be here currently. So back to items a little bit. We do have Jayce going for his Triforce, which obviously going to build into his typical item. And Malphite going for that Glacial Shot, going for that tax speed reduction, which is going to help out a lot, especially with this Caitlyn. That's the real hard counter to right now. If you can get in there with that ultimate, get that tax speed reduction. Corki's not affected by any of that. I mean, obviously he will be, but not nearly as much as Caitlyn, who needs that tax speed, who needs that headshot to proc. But currently, I mean, just Absolute Legends, they're looking very solid. They really are.
And again, looks like they're going to be trying to push down this middle tower. Monkey's actually coming in there, doing a bit of damage before he gets away. And obviously looks with the range on his spells as well, can probably do a good bit of damage to keep them away from this turret. So, what's Kuala Lumpur's next move from this? As you said earlier on, there is that Oracle on Maokai. He's not died as of yet. So, that's that gold that they are keeping up with right now. But he always...
it just missed the ward.
25 gold, 25 gold? No.
I was waiting for people to clap as he was going to kill it, you know, from the World Finals, but not going to happen this time. But we do have blue buff being taken over from Yoda. Going to give that over to Slushy, who actually picked up a blue buff himself off the enemy team. But looking at Corki, I mean, he was down quite a bit of CS. He's actually caught up now. I mean, 100 to 122. He's catching back up. In terms of gold, he's actually ahead at the moment. I mean, it's 40 gold, but obviously still ahead. And Diana, I mean, 202. Diana's extremely deadly, but the more kills she gets, obviously she's an assassin, it's just going to really mess with your team. I mean, they have such a strong engage with that Malphite ultimate. Going to knock so many people up. Diana Poland with that Moonfall. Crescendo to follow up. Not to mention Yoda, who can pretty much make it so you can't see Malphite coming in, which is really key when these people have such good reaction times. They can flash out of that ultimate. It just really is such a deadly combo, and it's only, as I've been saying this whole time, getting worse for them. But a lot of words still coming out from both sides, which you kind of have to do when you have these Oracles. And Lux actually building Athenes and Holy Grail. Looks like going for Merch Heads right after that. And, I mean, Kuala Lumpur Hunters, I still want to say you shouldn't count them out, as you are starting to see both teams group up. But if KHL can make something happen here, maybe pick up a couple towers, they'll actually catch up in gold a little bit and enough to actually go against Absolute Legends.
I mean, if you look at their poking ability, it's actually pretty strong in there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jayce EQ combo, you've got Caitlyn with the Piltover Peacemaker, you've got
and the
Lux,
ultimate from Caitlyn.
And throw in there. Yeah, Caitlyn obviously is ultimate. So it's not bad on that front, but Absolute Legends, they're going to be like, well, you're going to poke us, we're just going to get straight on top of you, and then what have you got? There's
no real solid disengage yet. We're going to need to see a Shurelya's coming out of someone on KLH just so they can run away potentially. But with this hard engage they have, I mean, they don't have a Janna to really mitigate any kind of engage with that ultimate. It's really going to be hard for them to win these fights, and they can't really afford to fight on Absolute Legends, you know, timing. Like, whenever Absolute Legends wants to go in, they have the ability to. And that's really going to hurt KLH in these team fights. But I mean, we do have Caitlyn, no real item yet, and it is pretty early in the... Actually, that's decently fair into the game, 17 minutes in, but has that BF sword sitting on 900 gold right now, so he could see a Bloodthirster coming out right now if he does decide to back out, taking that red buff. And Corki, who's sitting on 2/3 of his Triforce.
Yeah, actually, Diana did just go back home and pick up Blasting 1 plus that Negatron Cloak, so as really expected, I would say, headed off towards that Abyssal Scepter. In the meantime, Absolute Legends, again, sticking around heavily in this middle lane. They want to get rid of this middle turret. We've talked about it, what seems like almost repetitively over the past events, and shows that we've done together, obviously, that this outer turret in the middle lane. If you can take that down, that's so much vision away. As we do see Diana actually diving in there, and there is a kill on towards Caitlyn. Ultimate's going to come down from Nunu, but they're just in there. This is exactly what we talked about before the game, that they're going to get right in on top of them, as Monkeys will get Slushy there in the end. It didn't quite go as expected for Absolute Legends, and that's the exact point that Ocelot made over on the Cool Kids desk, that if these team fights last longer than that 10-15 second mark, they're in a lot of trouble. But once again, Absolute Legends turning around. There's the unstoppable force in towards Monkeys. He will flash away the Corki rocket, not quite landing. As we do see Malphite flash in there, will finish off with the shard. And that will be a... still, I don't think that Kuala Lumpur Hunters will be too unhappy with how that's gone from them. I mean, it could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, it definitely could have. And that was all because Zeke wasn't there. He was in base when they actually engaged, and they gave away a kill or two. So not really a smart move, but still worked out for them. And they got the tower. They have that map control, which is so important in this. Once you start taking down this tier 1 towers from top, middle, and bottom, actually, see a fight brewing.
Yeah, this fight is going down here as Zeke down to less than half HP, quite a lot less than half HP as a flash comes in, a snare missing, and well, pretty much everything missing there.
That frozen heart is just so devastating to the enemy team. I mean, Caitlyn does no damage until she gets that last whisper. But I mean, Kuala Lumpur Hunters trying to go for Dragon, trying to make up some goal, but they still can't team fight, and that's the problem. And especially with these, I was trying to say earlier, the tier 1 towers being down, if you start putting wards in the enemy jungle, they can't leave their jungle unless they have wards down, but Nocturne has an Oracle, Maokai has one as well, but he's going to have to pretty much face check these bushes to take them down. So it really gives Absolute Legends the complete advantage. They get that surprise jump onto KLH.
Yeah, they're going in for this Dragon. It looks like they will be able to take it down. However, Diana is coming in, but the smite there from Maokai will finish off. So, nice little pickup for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. I mean, that's the kind of thing at this stage of the game that can really throw it. You know, a dragon here, dragon there. That could have been a bad thing for Kuala Lumpur Hunters if Absolute Legends have taken that one. So, off to the, I can't really say the right start because obviously we're more towards the mid-game right now, but in this portion of the game, that's exactly what they needed.
Well, the problem is that Jae Young, he needs a last whisper to do any damage. He can't afford to attack any carries right now. Maybe Diana if she jumps in, but Malphite just gets straight on top of her, and the Crescendo, the Nocturne ultimate on top of that, can't do any damage, and he has to pretty much hit that Malphite, hit that Nocturne if he's going to try to survive or try to do any damage in these fights. But sitting on his pickaxe, it's just, he needs a lot of gold, sitting at 0-2, and when you have a tanky champion like Malphite or a Shen in the top lane, go 3-0-2, 120 CS, out CSing your own top lane, it provides so many problems for the AD carry. It really does.
Yeah, and that's CS in the bottom lane as well. Obviously, they've had more time to farm. We saw Corki just a few moments ago taking down a big wave there. That's all back to pretty much even. There's still, well, 7-8 CS lead for Caitlyn in the bottom, but as you said, kills working against it. Overall gold, 6,100, 5,700. Corki will be just about enough there to finish off that Trinity Force as well. So, looking really, really good for Absolute Legends. The question is, you know, can they get those engages that we need? We've seen what happens when they engage possibly at the wrong time without that Malphite there with Unstoppable Force. I mean, if that team fight had have had Malphite in there on the tower,
it would have been one-sided.
It would have been so one-sided. Yeah, so, I mean, if they don't make the mistake of doing that again, it could be a bad news for Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
The only time we actually saw Absolute Legends go in for a full 5-on-5 team fight was towards that bottom lane, but we saw the Crescendo miss, we saw the Unstoppable Force miss, and yet they still won that fight pretty easily. And this is really going to create a lot of problems for KLH. They need something. Maybe a risky Baron actually might get them back in the game. They have to pull something out of their sleeves because with the way it's currently going, there's just no way they're going to win.
Yeah, obviously Maokai still does have this Oracle on him.
Yeah, it's the saving grace that they have currently. It really does.
Not died as of yet. 0-0-3 currently.
Commentator's curse. He's going to die now, Joe.
That's it. Nocturne got no Oracle, but it's on Spellsy this time on Sona, so they do have that ward clearing ability still with them. As Kuala Lumpur Hunters coming in. Will they catch Spellsy out? Nope, not quite there. Quite content here, I think, to push this middle lane out, try and take this turret down, as well as Monkeys will tank that up a little bit until the minion wave comes down. There's the ultimate from Maokai in position as well, and they've got such great zoning abilities, even with that Lux E down there. Like, you don't want to walk through that. The slow plus the damage coming out of it, you just don't want to risk that. So good play from KLH to come back, take down that turret, and actually bring us back level in turrets themselves. They are still 4,000 and a bit gold behind, 4,500 it more or less is right now. And still Absolute Legends having that good control of the map, as we are going to see them coming in there. red buff is currently being done. As Malphite will realize, okay, they were just here. There is a ward down. How are they going to go about this one? Slushie actually getting fairly aggressive in terms of his positioning.
Lux isn't in position to do anything about this, though. I mean, they have to give it up. They can't afford to. But they're really doing great on their map awareness. As you saw, Corki's bot lane, Diana was top when they pushed that middle tower. If they can keep doing stuff like that, pick up a tower here, pick up a tower there, maybe get a dragon, they can get back in this game.
Poke there from Jayce, just doing a, well, I say a bit to Malphite, but it really was just a bit, like not really that much. So we are going to see them here fighting mainly for control, I'd say, of this top area of the jungle for KLH. Obviously, as they get ready for Baron. But there's still a good amount of wards down now. One thing that we often see in this situation is that war of attrition when it comes to wards, like who's got the more wards, who can take more down, who's empty first, basically.
Yeah, and that's what really snowballs against you as a support if you start losing your lane. I mean, we have Nunu 0-1-2, Caitlyn 0-2-1. So obviously Nunu's going to start running out of gold a lot quicker than Sona will. And that's really the problem, especially when you're on the blue team. I mean,
it's 1,200 gold difference between 1,300 between
that is
supports.
insane. That really is for supports, that much of a difference. And also, Absolute Legends on the blue team. They have that easy control of Baron because they can just walk right into the pit. But Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they have to, face check almost. They have to walk around that ramp to maybe go top lane. It's just really going to be hard for them to contest this Baron. One thing they can really see is maybe a Baron steal, since they do have a pretty good comp. I mean, they have the Lux ultimate, they have the E from Lux, they put over Peacemaker out of Caitlyn. They have a lot of harass the QE combo from Jayce. They really could steal the Baron, and that's why Absolute Legends isn't going for it. What's the point? You're 8-3, you're up quite a bit of gold. Why do something that you could potentially throw the game with?
Yeah, Maokai there almost getting caught out as his own wolves, and this is going to give blue buff over. Actually, Lux using the ultimate there, and that's not really going to do
that
all
shows
that
you how
much.
far behind she is.
Yeah.
She had 3 people, they took like damage. A 6th, maybe a 7th of their life.
And that will be with that blue buff over. Maybe the time that Absolute Legends are going to push this one, knowing that there's no blue buff on Lux. I mean, she is heavily dependent on those cooldowns, let's not forget. I mean, without having stuff of cooldown, what are you going to do? Auto attack? No, you obviously not. As we did see the Shirelius pop there as he's trying to chase Corki down. Probably not the best target to pop a Shirelius to try and chase. I mean, one Valkyrie and he's gone. Almost, but we'll see what they go for here as Kuala Lumpur are pushing a little bit down this middle lane. Yoda is spotted there by that ward. And again, move to a bit of a slower section, but that is a lot of damage. With that needs to large run in, and there's the ultimate from Jae-Yoon. Gonna get the kill back for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, and that will be 8-4. And this may just about win them positioning to be thinking about Baron. Look at the top lane, that's pushed heavily with minions, but here comes Vayne. There's the unstoppable force. Here comes Nocturne as well, and Kuala Lumpur Hunters being absolutely melted by this one. Jayce is gonna go down. That's a double kill for Diana. There is Diana getting another one, and there is a triple for Diana and a double for Corki and the ace.
Great job by Absolute Legends. That was perfect awareness. Slushie going in, pulling them all together for Zekin's ultimate. That was so well played, and that was without a crescendo, Joe. That's just how one-sided it is currently right now with their teamfight capability. And I kind of wanted to bring up something that these teleports, we saw them once. And we talked about how, they can be a wasted summoner. Maybe Ignite would get you a kill. Well, obviously you wouldn't take Exhaust potentially this against Diana to mitigate a lot of damage, but teleports hasn't really made an impact in this game, and they kind of, Kuala Lumpur Hunters kind of needed that with Lux, pull off these ganks. Obviously, Absolute Legends didn't really need it, but a nice bit of farm in that bot lane for Slushie, and Absolute Legends looking like they might take this game. 9,000 gold now, this is the biggest lead they had, and they easily can push these towers with this Baron. I mean, yeah, you can poke them all day, but they have Baron buff. They're going to heal it anyways. They have a Sona on top of that.
Yeah, this is, they're stuck between a rock, I guess that rock being Malphite, and a hard place. It's just not good. And obviously, as a commentator, we always want to keep things, they've got a chance here. They've still got a chance coming back, which you always have.
Yeah,
you always have a bad engage. Unfortunately for KLH, it looks like at this stage of the game, you're going to need more than one bad engage from Absolute Legends. Probably 2 aces by now will be what they need. But as we start to get into that later game, obviously, an ace can mean the difference between a couple of towers, an inhibitor, and a Baron even.
Yeah, so, with that timer,
timer
going
can
up.
really change.
And the thing is, the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they don't have a turtle team either. I mean, they can be dove on so easily by Absolute Legends on their inhibitor turret, even next turret if they wanted to, just because of how tanky Malphite is, as long as he has that turret aggro. I mean, how much armor is he sitting at right now? 271 without his W popped, which it's just you can't stop that. A turret can't stop that. Maybe even the fountain can't stop that currently. But we do have some items finally being completed, though. Caitlyn, Vinny's Edge, have that for quite a bit now. Has Ezreal. Going to be going for that Phantom Dancer, which, honestly, I'm not too fond of. I mean, yeah, I guess the move spin gives you the attack speed, but maybe a Last Whisper would benefit you so much more because of, you know, who's diving on you. You have to look at that.
Oh,
you know,
Jayce,
oh,
why
no.
did he stop there?
Attack move.
That could be a bad thing, as we are going to see Corki coming in there. Valkyrie's over the wall.
And that's a turret.
And that is a turret. I
Yeah.
mean, just the burst damage that comes out of Diana. I mean, looking down her items, Haunting Guise, obviously great penetration. It gives you the Abyssal Scepter as well, working all in, you know, in coordination. Then you've got the GA on Diana as well. So she dies, comes back again.
And that's, I mean, they couldn't kill her to begin with. How are they going to kill her with the G on top of that? But we do have Absolute Legends. They push down that second tier tower in the top lane. Now go for this inhibitor turret. And they easily can't take it. I mean, Robert Lee, that was Flux's full combo. Half health. I mean, that just says it right there.
That needs to be a kill onto an AD
yeah,
carry.
that does. Because they're supposed to be squishing up for you.
Okay,
We do have Diana.
We are going to see the push in from Diana. Malphite is coming around as well. That unstoppable
Messy fight.
force will come in on towards Caitlyn to get her out of the fight as well. The slow will go down. Corki is hammering away as well. There is a double kill for Corki. Sona and Malphite picking up the others as well. Corki went half low. Oh, there's the tower. He went just in range of it there at the end. And that will be, well, shut down is Corki.
Might even be game.
To be honest, that might just be the game here. 20 seconds until we see Nunu come up. What's Nunu going to do? Not a whole fat lot. Then you've got Maokai. What's Maokai going to do against this team?
He's going to hug
Pretty much the same fat lot of nothing. As the first Nexus turret is going to go down. Second one will follow. And the Nexus will surely go down there as well. And Absolute Legends going to pick up their first game here in Group A of the Intel Extreme Masters, taking down Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Come on, let's hear it for them, guys. They played a great game. A great match by both teams. And now, I mean, Absolute Legends got to be feeling good, Joe.
Well, that's
starting off the group stage.
That's the
one game
start
up.
that you always want.
Yeah.
You know, you get into the groups. It's first game of the day. You can come in here really unwarmed up. I mean, they've had a good amount of time. We had that little delay at the start, which, you know, allowed them to play some bot games and what have you to warm up their mechanical
As you can see right there, they're, you know, trying to warm up their hands because they're nervous. That usually happens to your hands, and you're also not warmed up.
Yeah, I mean, when we came in here, it was like 50,000 degrees. The
yeah.
air conditioning is now running nicely, and it has dropped considerably, which, you know, you got your hand on the mouse and keyboard the whole time. It do get kind of cold, so that's important for them to keep warm from that. But that is the start they were looking for, taking down what could prove to be one of the strongest teams in this group. I mean, KMT, the new ELO Hell,
they have some tricky
for
things
me,
up their sleeves.
they're the team to really watch in this group stage. I mean, we saw them through the qualifiers. We were so impressed, as we said, overpower their AP carry, playing the Fiddlesticks in that qualifier.
A very special Fiddlesticks.
A very special build on the Fiddlesticks. It worked out perfectly as well. So they're definitely a team to be looking out for. But for now, Absolute Legends looking great. Great start. It was a one-sided game, 19-5. A good 14,000 gold difference there at the end. They did everything right. There was just that one time in the middle. Ocelot pointed it out earlier that if those team fights last longer than 10-15 seconds, if Malphite's not there as it was, then it's bad news. But it only happened one time. Absolute Legends, though, got back on the train and rode it home.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And, I mean, you have to give it up to that top lane camping we saw it in Nocturne. I mean, if you kill Jayce early on against a Malphite, you get some early armor on you, you're not really going to come back from it. Yeah, you do true damage, or you do base health damage, but it's not going to be enough against a Malphite who has a heart of gold on top of that. But I mean, just all lanes really got set behind as we can look at the scoreboard, or I'm currently looking at the scoreboard. I mean, 3-7 Jayce, a 1-3 Lux, a 1-4 Caitlyn. That kind of just tells the story of what happened.
Yeah, anyway, we're going to throw it over